little bit of a harder video for me to do because I've got so much going on in my mind right now. You've got Hurricane Irma that is devastating the Caribbean islands and affecting so many people. And my prayers go out to them. And it's just like, it's so bad. Like, I mean, watching, the news and seeing how certain areas are just been wiped out. It's crazy. And it's just so sad to see. You're just kind of like, oh my God. And then, I don't know if you saw this on the news, but DragonFly, I think it's 2.0, which is a hacker collective group, hacked the U.S. power grid. And they had controller access, which basically means they had access to control the whole power grid. And that was from my understanding from what I was reading. So you're sitting there kind of reading all this and seeing all the news and kind of going, wow, like what is going on? What is happening? So that's kind of what's going on in my mind right now, what's happening, what I'm thinking about. And it's a little nerve-wracking because you're sitting there kind of going, okay, what do I do? Where do I go? Like, what should I be thinking about? And for me, I'd recommend looking at, do you have an action plan, like a redundant action plan for yourself, for you and your family? What would happen if power went out in your area? Do you have water? Do you have backup water? Do you have a filtration system that you can filter water? Do you have, flashlights or solar power flashlights that, can recharge off the sun so that you can have light at night? Like, do you have all these things? Have you set these things up? Or have you been consumed with the day-to-day lives and everything that's going on? Right? In the sense of you've got work, you've got bills to pay, you've got, kids' activities if you have children, things you're doing. Maybe you're not, healthy. Maybe you've got some health issues and you're just so consumed with all these other things. They haven't had time to kind of really look at, a safety plan, a backup plan, contingency plan for yourself, for you and your family. I think that's something that we're seeing more and more that people need to have in place just in case. And I'm not saying we're coming into the end of days. I want to be very clear there that I'm not saying that. But you're seeing all these natural storms. You're seeing things happen like this. And the potential is there for something to happen. So it's good to have a contingency plan, a backup plan, so that if something does happen, you can recover or at least be safe. So if that means having a backup shelter in the sense of some place you can stay, food, warm clothes, warm, dry clothes, especially when you're looking at what's happening in the Caribbean. Because you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you're saying, I wish I would have. I wish I would have had the supplies. I wish I would have taken the time to set up a contingency plan when it's happening. At that point, it's too late. And you're seeing people in Florida, which is sad. You're seeing on the news where they're going to stores and stores are out of stock of certain supplies like water. And you're kind of going like, oh my God. Now, don't get me wrong. From what I've been watching, the Gulf of Florida actually has a mandatory evacuation. So they're getting people out of there before the storm hits. And hopefully people are listening because, I'd hate to see that people are still in Florida and are affected by the storm. It's just sad to see. I mean, you got to look at your health and your wellness and your family safety. I know you might have your house and possessions, but they can always be replaced. And if not, they're family heirlooms. I mean, your health is more important. So something I've been reading with cybersecurity and just kind of going over that book, one of the things they talk about is, people are the most valuable asset when it comes to a security plan. Well, you got to look at that, for your contingency plan for you and your family. You are the most important asset. Your family is the most important asset. It's important for you guys to stay safe. So that's kind of what's on my mind today. Like I said, I'm trying to keep these videos short, but really think about that. I'd like to hear your comments. Like, what do you think about that? Like, what's your thoughts about what's going on in the world with all the weather storms and the hacking and all that's happening? What do you feel about these things? Comment below. So that's it for today's video. I just want to finish there. Just don't forget, Software is hackable, being connected is vulnerable. I'll see you next video.